You started the year with the intention of 60 winners. You managed to hit that at a percentage of 23-24%, which was a very good return. How pleased were you with the year as a whole?
Yeah, I was delighted that we hit that. It was going to be, a hard task with numbers being down and a little bit less ammunition. So I was delighted to achieve it. Everyone worked hard. Horses performed consistently well, throughout the year. And it was a good return. Very happy, and a lot of hard work by everyone to achieve it, but delighted.
And state success in America and on home soil with the likes of Western Aristocrat, Talwar and Regal Round?
Yeah, would have preferred more, good, more group winners, but, was satisfied the 2 2-year-olds performed well. They were tough, consistent, they won their group races. Western Aristocrat was a, good result, winning in America, pinpointed that race, made it an aim, we achieved it, and to win at grade 1 level with a horse that, possibly, would only be listed group 3 in this class was, we found the right opportunity, and we, it's always nice when you feel that you've, stolen a big race, and found a way to get a job done.
And just looking through those other horses that have contributed and showed signs of promise for down the line, Dare to Dance was a nice progressive horse. Club Oceanic, he never stopped going forward, and Sud Pacifique, he hit the target 2 or 3 times. Those horses were all important to you in terms of hitting your target, hitting that 60 winner mark. Yeah,
3 solid types who progressed, won their races, and performed at a good handicap level. Sadly 2 of them have been sold and are on their way, but we have Dare to Dance for next year. And I think he's going to be a progressive horse who is going to stay further, and hopefully he could develop into a stakes quality horse at some stage.
It hasn't been easy you hit the 60 winner mark, but it's not been plain sailing. Of course, there are injuries to 1 or 2 key flagship horses who I know you pinpointed as the ones with high hopes for at the start of the season. How difficult was it to be without the likes of Peter Martins and Ellis Diamond, and what's the long-term situation with those horses?
Well, they were approaching the season. They were, in my opinion, our best 3-year-old colt and our best 3-year-old filly, and I felt that they were horses that were definitely going to compete at group level and could even be horses that could run in classics. I had my eyes set on the 2000 Guineas with Peter Martins. With Frankel about them, mostly unrealistically looking back, but he was a good solid horse, and I think he would have won at a good level. He sustained an injury which is going to give him a prognosis that it's guarded, but I think that there's a decent chance, and I hope he'll return sort of midsummer next year, and he's going to be a lovely horse to have around. Ellis Diamond was just an unlucky situation. Got a complicated lower airway virus, unusual, a little bit out of the blue. But once that happened, and we missed, I was hoping that she's been an Oaks filly, and we missed the summer and late summer. We decided to take a long-term view with her and look towards, racing as a 4-year-old. So there'll be 2, I keep my fingers crossed, 2 lovely horses to return next year, and I'm more than hopeful. And another horse that, he got injured the day before he was due to race last season, who, I liked a lot, was a Giant's Causeway colt called Garde Couture. He should be returning to the frame. So there'll be 3 nice 4-year-olds to have around for next season, and hopefully they can give us a little bit of a lift going into it.
We mentioned Talwar and Regal Rounds, a couple of the 2-year-old class of 2011 to make their mark. Also, we shouldn't forget Roman Soldier ran a couple of fine races at the highest level, once at Royal Ascot and also down here. He made his mark as a 2-year-old, and then there was Reckoning late on, and 1 or 2 others, Harvard and Yale, that we were excited about. Just looking at those type of horses, give a few thoughts, please.
Yeah, start with Roman Soldier. He was a good solid performer, and ran really well at Royal Ascot and at the July meeting. Economically we got a good offer, and it was an offer that really we had to take, so he moved on. But looking ahead, I think Harvard and Yale and Reckoning are two horses that have a big future. They'll only be better at 3, and they have a chance to step up and be be stakes quality horses.
How optimistic are you looking ahead to 2012 then, when you oversee your stock and you have a look at the pedigrees and you've been to the sales of those juveniles that are coming in? How optimistic are you of a bright 2012?
And I'm most probably by nature the most realistic or pessimistic and look at the worst things. But no, I think we worked extremely hard at the yearling sales, and I think with what we had to spend and the budget and what we were looking for, I'm already very pleased with the group of yearlings we put together. They look racy, they look solid. If you ask me for a judgment at this stage, I think they look slightly better than and this is a very early stage, but they look slightly better as a group than the team for last year. So I'm happy with them. Amongst the horses, turning 3, there's some promising horses there. They've got to improve and go in the right direction. But there's horses there, as I say, the two obvious ones are Harvard and Yale and Reckoning. But there's 2 or 3 unraced horses there that I have a lot of belief in, and if things go right, they could easily go and do very well. And that on top of what we've already talked about, the return of Peter Martin, Zealous Diamond, Card Couture. It gives me reasons to be optimistic of at least doing as well as in 2011 and having a good chance of doing even better and having a big season.
Can't finish without just discussing one horse who we always fielded a lot of inquiries about, a lot of interest from the public as well as the media. Time's run out for Laddie's Poker too.
Yes, she returned to Coolmore, and I believe she's being bred to Galileo. It was always a very tricky filly to train, and in the end, the issues caught up with her, and I could never quite get her to where I wanted this season, and I maybe tried too hard and tried too long, but I looked at the sprinters were around, and I just felt in my heart that Laddie's Poker 2 at her best was capable of, at the very least, competing with them, and I had a belief that she could have beaten the vast majority of them. So we tried hard, but she didn't come back, and we'll always remember her for a big day in the Wokingham, and wish there'd been other days like it, but for that one day it was very satisfying.
And how talented a filly was she on her day?
I believe that she could have won a Group 1 for sure. She was definitely of the same calibre as Fleeting Spirit, who proved herself consistently over 2 seasons in the top flight, and she was definitely as good as her. So she would have been in there as a top contender in major sprints. So it was disappointing that we didn't quite get there.